Alright, right here we're starting off with why the Middle East does not like America. This is a great subject, especially because for people like me and Destiny who believe that we should have some kind of influence in the region, to what extent does our foreign policy play into that region actually kind of inflaming, right? And that's a fine line that we have to define really well, and we'll see if Destiny and Myron do it any justice.
Middle East.
Oh no, they got plenty of good reasons to not like us.
Yeah, but yeah, it's because of a lot of our interventionist foreign policy, which is to benefit Israel. So my argument is simply almost every terrorist attack that we've had to endure has been because of our really bad foreign policy to benefit Israel, and I just don't see the benefit.
Yeah, when I advocate and when Destiny advocates for keeping our influence in the Middle East, we mean like allyships and alliances that promote peace. This is us giving aid to Arab countries, us funding Israel to an extent, but we should make all that aid contingent on them following international law, or at least most of the aid, besides things like the Iron Dome, which does save civilian lives, right? When we talk about influence, we're like, this is about alliances. We live in a world of alliances and allyships and partnerships. Putin has tons of partnerships, right? China has tons of partnerships and allyships. So we should do our part to promote what we believe is peace, what we believe is justice in that region, because if we don't, then the alternative might be undesirable. Now, reasons the Middle East might hate America, oh my gosh, just run down the line. We don't push back on Israel for their clear violations of international law, number one. Our president said the settlement expansion was legal. He promoted the ethnic cleansing of Gaza, right? Go back in history, we supported Saddam Hussein in the Iran-Iraq war after he launched a war of annihilation against Iran. We facilitated his construction of chemical weapons, right? Iran-Contra scandal, all this stuff. It doesn't look good for us. Then add on to the war on terror, right? Invading Afghanistan, Iraq, the disasters that came out of Syria and Libya, although those are more complicated situations, but more easily understood is the Iraq, and why most Middle East despise us, because we kind of introduce a chance for a group called ISIS that vows the destruction of the religious integrity of the Middle East and the peace in the Middle East, right? We unleash that in our war on terror, right? So they have tons of good reasons to hate us. Now, some of them hate us just because we promote democracy and free speech, which we should promote that kind of stuff in the countries that we align ourselves with, because we believe those things to be good. Most people in America believe those things to be good, objectively. Now, there is no such thing as objective good, I think, but in our opinion, in NATO's opinion, America's opinion, or our foreign policy, we should generally promote that stuff, and I think a lot of people would agree with that. We just should not do the bad stuff, we should only do the good stuff. But we shouldn't just, hands up, no involvement there, we're not going to say anything about what happens, we're not going to have any partnerships. I think that is way too far. That is way too complete anti-war stance, anti-interventionist stance, when that's not the world we live in.
There for us as the United States.
We don't see the benefit, but we don't see the detriment if we would have lost there, right? Like, imagine all of those states were hostile to us. What would OPEC?
I don't think it would be, man.
Why not, though?
So I think if we didn't have this like crazy interventionist foreign policy at the benefit of Israel, I don't think they would hate us like that, man. Like, you could look at these Gulf states that have money. These other Arab countries would probably been able to have stable economy.
Yeah, if we put our hands up and withdrew from the region, I think that they would forget about us. I think Myron's right. I don't think any of these countries would be against us. I don't think OPEC would be against us. You could throw up imaginary situations where that could be the case, but I just don't believe it. They wouldn't be against us, but it would threaten a less stable region if we just completely withdrew all of our partnerships and alliances there, all of our aid to all the Arab countries. I think I wouldn't take that risk, but I wouldn't say that the Arab countries would then hate us for it, right? I just think it would expose the region to more power, more kind of less benevolent powers, I believe. And would I take that over America's current and past interventionist policies that have gone too far? I don't know, because I don't know what that looks like, right? That hasn't happened yet. I just propose kind of a very passive presence in the Middle East, because it is a very important region. Oil is very important. Like, people who say that we should just that it's not important and we should just stay out of it, again, that's not reality. No other country does that.
Utilize their oil and their other resources, have some money, and
are we assuming if Israel like didn't exist? Or, because I would say, like, if Israel wasn't there at all, not to make some argument on whether we'd kill all the Jews or whatever, like, let's say Israel wasn't there at all, I feel like they would all just be fighting each other, because I feel like prior to, like, Israel being there kind of gave them a central enemy to kind of like fight for a while, but prior to that, when Britain was carving up after World War I.
All right, that's just a crazy thing to say. They would all be fighting each other. Like, what evidence do you have for that? Yes, Israel did give them something to unite against, but what would they be fighting each other on exactly? There is precedent for Arab countries fighting each other, of course, but it's not for no reason. Like, what current reasons would other Arab countries have for invading each other? I don't know. And Israel isn't stopping them from attacking each other, right? Saudi Arabia's war in Yemen. You know, this is not a kind of cut and dry type thing. I don't think Israel. I think Israel is, you could say it's a distraction, but I think that's like infantilizing the Arab countries, like their little children, like be getting distracted by shiny objects. It's like, no, they think about other stuff than Israel all day.
You had like the Mandate, you had like the Turkish Revolution, you had Egypt, like one of their own state, like everybody kind of had their own state. People were kind of like vying for influence, and you know, like it's like, you know, but
that
like,
argument.
Yeah, so
I've always been critical with you know, the Arab world, like they need dictators and monarchs for a reason, right?
But they still were vying for influence even when Israel was established, right? That was the Arab League. It influenced a lot of Egypt's actions surrounding the Yom Kippur War and the 1970s peace process, was them wanting to keep their influence in the Arab League. So again, these Arab countries don't just have one thing on their mind at any given time.
Sure. But I do think, as far as like us and our relationship with them, I don't think it would be as bad as it is if it weren't for all of our interventionism on behalf of Israel.